Hello everyone and welcome to Fleet Sunday Streaming. Yes, we're back again and this time featuring audience engagement. Obviously I didn't want to deny you the thing you'd all voted for last weekend on the day you were supposed to get it, so it did lead to a little bit of a weird half and half with brew ships, but not this weekend. This weekend you're getting the proper full 9 yards. Oh yes, no half measures this time. Well, yeah, so the full 9 yards is here for you today. So, when last we left our band of intrepid heroes, in this particular case being the British Empire, things were in an interesting state. So, the first thing that we have to deal with is the unfortunate circumstance and the tragic loss that, well, to be blunt, we're staring down the barrel of the 1940s. It's approaching 1938. I need to consider destroyer replacement programs. I need to consider things like the tribals. Problem is I don't really have the large destroyer hull that I want for something. Sorry, for something like the tribals. I also want to consider the replacement for the Mark 6 light tank, which will probably end up being something like the Matilda, and then the medium will take over in the mainline tank role. We've got the new class of destroyers being built. I'm probably just going to keep them on low rate production, build about 50 destroyers in a bunch of different batches. We've got the King Edward the 5th class, which are a bunch of revised G3s nearly coming out that I need to consider, which actually now have the experience for. Well, I need to basically... I had to make compromises, because unfortunately I'm literally waiting for the... I, for some reason, despite the fact I didn't sign the naval treaty, I am still in the naval treaty. So... that's annoying. So I'm trying to think of some way of getting an 18-inch battleship through the treaties, but tell you the God's honest truth, I'm kind of struggling. I don't think it's possible, to be fair, but it's something I want to try and at least attempt. If I go with twin 18s, that might give me enough... oh, no, not twin 20-inch. If I go with twin 18s... if we keep the engine slow... if we... carry only a basic secondary battery... if we only carry the absolute lightest AA... oh my god, that basic fire control director costs so much. We need it. We kind of need basic radar, otherwise the ship's not really practicable. If we go to an incremental armor scheme, that buys us some more weight. If we get rid of the torpedo protection, that buys us some more. But even then, you're coming in under the budget for what? A substandard ship. It's just not worth it. I'm better off revising the King Edward the 8th class battle cruisers into some form of fast, relatively effective capital ship, probably one armed with twin 18-inch guns. That's probably what I'm better off doing. Like I say, I probably do want to look at batch 2 of the towns. But that's okay, I can work that up in a second. Probably will end up building batch 2 of the towns and building a pair of battleships to work with them. There are also the carriers I need to consider, though. Because I need to construct new carriers. Because we commissioned Art Royal, but we really do need more modern carriers, basically. Otherwise, we're going to have real problems. But that is a problem that we will have to overcome later. I need army experience, really, because I need to design the new tank divisions of the British Army. I'm also trying to save up to get underway replenishment, because I kind of need that. Oh, and that reminds me, I am also waiting on... Hello. Knight. Knight. Thank you for letting me know I've lost 2 subscribers. Thanks very much. That was something I had definitely not noticed by myself. I am aware. Also, I don't need no... I didn't get a chewing out on Friday. We had a discussion night. We shared disparate opinions. That's what having a healthy debate is all about. It's not a chewing out. Please don't refer to it as such. And also, yes, I lost 2 subscribers. What's that got to do with anything? Thank you for coming in to the chat with 2 negative comments. That's just a great way to start off. I need to get Discord up to let the server know that everything is going on. So that reminds me to keep going forwards. So, national focus. Let's see. Where are we? What do we need? Mediterranean Bastion. Probably want to consolidate the British Isles. Let's get that done. I mean, after all, the Irish are communist. Can't have that. Kind of communist Irish. I mean, like, good lord, that feels... That's just... The Irish is fine, they want to be independent, but can't have them be communist and independent. That's not right. Can't do that. Right, so... so I need to probably get the game rolling. Just start it off on 2-speed, give the old creaking iron horse a chance to actually get things rolling as best it can. And then we'll work from there. The old steam-powered computer that apparently its successor is being worked on, but I can't see the chat where that is being worked. I know that apparently Dr. Clark has an entire chat that Fleet is not allowed to see. But apparently things are being worked on that Fleet is not allowed to be privy to. I don't mind. A little bit of secrecy makes it all pretty fun. What are we missing? Naval bombers? Shouldn't be. Got the oh. Land-based naval bombers. Yeah, that explains it. I'm gonna get the Wildebeest into production. They're honestly, I'm actually fine with just the Wildebeest being my naval bomber. I can replace that with a... Okay, there goes Aragon. I don't think the Spanish Civil War is over yet, though. Got the Hurricane, the Wellesley, and the Blenheim. What would it... Because I have 5. Is that enough to actually create a interwar naval bomber? Sorry, I mean an interwar. It says the Swordfish is an interwar. Doesn't seem right, though. It's one of those things where I'm going... Does the UK really need land-based? I could go with that. If it was a land-based, because the Swordfish is very much absolutely a carrier-based naval bomber of the interwar period. There we go. Swordfish. There we go. Fairly Swordfish, wasn't it? I'm fairly certain. Yes, right, the Commie Irish are being invaded by the British. Although there would likely be a long period of standoff tension before the war broke out, and the British would very much not be the aggressors, most likely. It would most likely be something forced upon them by provocations by the Irish. Depends. It would depend entirely on the situation. Geopolitics is not governed by hard and fast rules. It's very much governed by nuance. One thing that I have learned countless times and have to almost keep reminding myself of is that, well, politics is absolutely governed by nuance. And there are no black and white, yes they will, no they won't. It's just one thing that I've learned. There we go. What do we need? We've got, education. Oh yes, absolutely excessive education. That's good. Best education in the world, and then we'll found the NHS early. It's a great idea. More NHS for everybody. Healthcare for the masses. That's what we like. What are we researching? We've got the sterlings coming out. Researching the 2-pounder. Getting better ability to get things out. More local supplies. Better population increase is all good. And better armor for our tanks. Where are you gentlemen going? Oh, you're part of the extra force I'm sending to Africa. Yes, that reminds. Yes, you're going to Africa, aren't you? Now I remember. Then we've got the home theater, which is UK and North America. And I think did I build up the infrastructure here? I think I did. I must have done. Yes, I did in fact do that. Probably want to build up the infrastructure here as well, because I'm looking at the invasion of Canada, and I'm thinking it's gonna be a rough ride. Okay, so we've done that. So let me boost you all up to about. That should actually be yeah. If you build 5 batches of 5 of these IJK class destroyers, that'll be pretty good. That'll be fine. Then that leaves me one to use for freighters, just to make sure we've got enough merchant ships to keep everything flowing as we need to. There we go. So let me see. What do I need now? So we're up where we need to be in terms of armor. We're actually keeping up when it comes to industrial tech. We're where we want to be in terms of armor. No, yeah, that's what I did want. I want to get the medium tanks a little bit early, just so I can get things like the Crusader into service ahead of time, and pivot my light tanks to first being light infantry tanks and then faster things like cruisers. Depends what angle I choose to go. And then again, I could actually. No, I don't think I will. I'll stick with cruiser tanks. So I'll switch over to the cruiser tank model. And I've got tons of generations of cruiser tanks I can go through. On the 2-pounder version, I could just go with the light tank Mark 8 with the 2-pounder, the one that never got built. That would be very funny. And it would be fairly expedient to construct as well. Well, yeah, you can't exactly police a colony with it. You can't exactly police the wilds of Victoria Falls with a battleship, can you? That's not exactly how it works. I wish Discord would also work, because it's being aggressively funny, and I don't like it when it's not aggressively funny. When it's being aggressively funny, stop. Discord, please stop being aggressively funny. Will you please just work? I would appreciate it if you please just worked. Thank you. So nope, I'm waiting for underwear replenishment. So we've got Frank Whittle over there. We've got James Chadwick waiting to set off atomic bombs and throw money at things, which is aggressively funny in and of itself. Military-industrial organizations. What have we got? Good. Vauxhall. There we go. Get some extra bits for our tanks. Camel Laird. Oh, there goes planning stage. There goes a lot of our political power income, but that's okay. There we are. Enfield. We love ourselves some Enfields. That's what we like. There we go. And then the Royal Arsenal, who produces all of our big sticks that go bang. I love this game sometimes. It brings out the mirth in me. Just it's very chill, very casual. I upgrade all of our light tanks Mark 4s into Mark 6s, which is very good. Can I actually... Okay, Belgium has decided that they don't need us, which, alright, power to them, I guess. I can't say I think it's gonna go well for them, but... Oh, that... Alright. Well, I guess we're fighting the Americans early. Alright then. Guess that's what we're doing. Alright. That's unfortunate, but if I wait too much longer, they're going to run ahead, and I can't have that. So we need to move towards Canadian reintegration, and we need to move towards Canadian reintegration quickly. As quickly as we stop telling me that... Come back when you've got 2 levels of naval breakthrough. I'm not bothered otherwise. So there we go. So we've got the destroyer program is continuing at pace. That is good. And then I really need to look towards batch 2 of the town class. So I'm thinking... Where are they? Here we go. So batch 2 of the towns. So I think... the only thing we need to do is upgrade all of the systems on the towns. Add another set of anti-aircraft guns. Add another catapult for even more scouting. And upgrade. They already have the good armor belt. And give them smoke generators. And camel layered. So that's good. And then this should still be batch 2 of the towns. If I've got it right, they should still be using the town names. Ah, yes, Gloucester. Good. So, okay, so we still... So this will be batch 2 of the towns, and ideally what I want is... I want 3 batches of the towns going. So I want 1, 2, 3 batches of the towns to begin when the first 3 destroyers are done. Each of those lines will spit out a pair of towns. And then what I will do is I probably want to look into some form of new carrier design. At least that's the thinking. Yeah. That whole thing with the United States is going to be a bit of a sticking point, but hopefully the Metsoons will do something stupid like declare war on them. Does at least mean that formalising the rest of the empire will be fairly straightforward. Bringing Australia, New Zealand, South Africa back into the crown should not take very long at all. So I should... Ah, yes, I need to finish the Cape to Cairo railway. Because, unfortunately, with the disconnection of South Africa, there is no way to supply those troops in the interior. So we need to finish that Cape to Cairo railway. So we can supply those troops in the interior. Do the royal... No, we'll do general austerity, which will help us massively. And we will very, very, very quickly invade and integrate the Irish. This should not take very, very long at all. Got fairly decent divisions. The RAF is... Well, we don't even really need the RAF, to be perfectly blunt with you. Although I will deploy some of the squadrons to Ireland to conduct very basic operations against the Irish. They don't really have an air force, to be blunt, but that's okay. There we go. Looks like we're gonna get an encirclement. The Irish are putting up slightly more of a fight than you'd expect, but well, these are the same Irish that did fight a civil war, so they do know what they're talking about. They've been in the terrain for a while. They know where they are. Like, you know, fair credit to them. It's what you'd expect. There, get me improved engines, because that way I really can lean into the whole cruiser tank doctrine, which will be very, very handy. There we go, Chief of Army. Ooh. No, I'll wait, I'll save up and get Allenbrook, because that is just division speed. Like, that is... And there we go, Shadow Schemer's paid off. That gives us more military factories, which I absolutely need, because that will help me increase productions of everything, and it means I can also start building my anti-aircraft. Ooh, sorry, my anti-aircraft guns, and I think, how far away is the 2-pounder? 4 days I can start building the 2-pounder as well, which is absolutely fine. Get me some survivability studies. Nope, still don't have what I need. There we go. Yarrow shipbuilders. Okay, these... Oh, that's right, I was building these destroyers for the Western Approaches Command, I think. Yeah, they were going to be part of the bulking out of Western Approaches Command. Yeah, that's right, I was going to bulk out Western Approaches Command with them. Oh yeah, we can get 25-pounder early. That's actually a pretty good idea if we do that. Yeah, there we go. We've broken through the China. I'm going to swing around, take Galway from behind them. We need to really rework the armoured divisions of the British Army. Because, well, they just need reworking. A thorough reworking. They're currently basically just armoured brigades. They're not... They need to be reworked. They need to be properly bulked out. We need to figure out exactly what they're going to be. Motorized divisions are actually pretty good. There's not much wrong with our motorized. That is fine. And this war is actually giving the British Army a lot of valuable experience in fighting a war that will enable me to reshape it. So I am absolutely happy with the state of affairs as it currently stands. So that's fine. We probably will need to increase tank production, especially as we move to... replace a lot of our older aircraft with newer ones. Older aircraft? Tanks aren't aircraft. And the flying tanks! This time, vote now at your local retailers for flying tanks. Oh, God. Good times. Good times. Flying tanks. Oh, dear. Happy days are here again. Having a good time. There is a guide on how to get the Imperial Federation quickly. Well, the Imperial Federation is something that we'll get to, but I don't need to rush to it. No, there's no... we'll get to the Imperial Federation when we get there. There's no point rushing. Like, I'm playing the game for the joy of it. Getting to the Imperial Federation is something that I do want to do, but it's not something that I need to rush towards. The idea, really, is actually Imperial Solidarity. The whole point is that we're going to make sure the Empire retains, or attempts to keep together itself. That's the whole plan here. Basic heavy airframe. That's pretty good. We'll probably do something with that in a minute. But I just need to make sure that we are... Okay, improved radios. That'll be useful for our tanks. Nope. Don't waste your political power. You need to save it up. We should be done with the... there we go. Yep, so that's the Cape to Cairo Railway has been built. That is good. That's extremely handy. We need to save up 200 political power so we can get Alan Brooke, because he is incredibly good as Chief of Army. There we go. Of course, it all comes down to a final siege of Dublin, but, well... It would almost be sort of anticlimactic if it didn't come down to a final siege of Dublin. They're... no, we don't need things like that. I'll probably just go for large cruisers instead. We do need super destroyers, though. So we can build things like enlarged tribals, things of that nature. That's the thinking, anyway. No, I need Handlebrook. That's what I need. Once Dublin falls, that will... Okay, that I did not expect. Okay, Venezuela, you do you. You do whatever you need to do. There you go, and now we can finally get rid of this awful flag. I don't know why on even a royalist Britain, why on earth would it get rid of the Union Jack? That's just a... I don't know what person at Paradox made that call, but that's just very silly. So we're going to fix that. United British Isles. There we go. Now we've got a much better colour, and we've got a pretty decent flag. So now what I need to do is we need to prepare for war in the United States. Specifically against the Canadians and their American allies. The idea is that I plan, so seeing as we've kind of been forced into a conflict with the United States somewhat ahead of my original plans, and we're headed towards that at fairly rapid speed, I need to consider how the Royal Navy is going to enter that conflict. And my thought process for that is basically, we have the new King Edward VIII class battle cruisers, which are revised G3s. I need new hulls. Problem is, Hood and the Renowns are good enough. The Queen Elizabeths are good enough. Like the Avengers, the QEs, they can keep the Mediterranean bottled up. I need new capital ships to fight the Americans. I need new capital ships, new cruisers. And then I can use the older fleets as a reserve. You'll notice why the home fleet is Nelson and Rodney. I am going to inject that fleet with new capital. Although the home fleet scouting group does have Renown and Repulse and Hood. Although Hood will probably... The Far Eastern Fleet now has its battle cruisers to help escort its two carriers. Although what I probably will do is I will send out Hood to work and be the fast escort for the Far Eastern Scouting Force. Leave Renown and Repulse as the fleet heavy units for home, heavy fleet scouts for home fleet. So that's fine. Of course, the real prize is the New Atlantic Fleet, which is Jockton and Gibraltar, which is Courageous, Resolution, Revenge, Royal Oak, Royal Sovereign, Ramillies, and a bunch of C-class. So what I want to do, ideally, is I want to supplement and ideally replace those ships, shuttle off the Revengers, probably shuttle off the Revengers to the Mediterranean Fleet to just... Well, basically to just provide absolute crushing overmatch against the Italians. Take Courageous from... Sorry, take Glorious from the Mediterranean Fleet, assign her to the North Atlantic, leave the 5 QEs and the 5 Revengers to basically stare at Mussolini and say, go on, I dare you, try me. Which would be very silly of him if he did, because, well, that's 10 battleships staring at him. Good luck. Like I say, I need to really consider what exactly I'm going to do when it comes to new battleships. We've built the King Edward VIII, which are a heavily revised G3. I was going to try and build an N3 derivative or a heavily revised N3 derivative, but unfortunately we are still bound by even an escalator clause naval treaty. I could not leave it. The politicians wouldn't let me because, well, that's the way the game sometimes works. You don't always get what you're given, and, well, it would take me 300 political power to do. I need more than 50% world tension. You can't leave the treaties as Britain. It's horrible. But we can work around it. It's not game ending. Like I say, I managed to get a revised G3 under the escalator clause limits. What else do I need? There we go. I need to improve our infantry equipment based on the experiences in the Anglo-Irish War. I can probably work on an improved light tank. It's probably... start with the Cruiser Mark 1. So it has, I believe, they had a 2-man turret with obviously a quick-firing 2-pounder. You have basic radio. You have a heavy machine gun turret. Well, actually, you have 2, but mounting 2 would be a bit silly. You can't have more than 2. But that machine gun turret represents 2. They have a fuel drum. Then you want... I think they have a variant of horseman suspension, I think. And you crank the engine up as far as it will go. 10 kilometers an hour, that's fine. Armor is enough to resist infantry weapons, so that's okay. And then that will replace our current light tank force for now. Then obviously, as we get improved kit, we will upgrade our tanks going forwards, which is fine. Yes, improved depth charge throwers. That is absolutely what we want. Then up stare at South Africa. Probably want to do a revised Ark Royal class as the next capital units we build. So this will be illustrious. This will be the illustrious class. So, yeah, so she won't have an integrated hangar. These will obviously have armored hangars. Then, of course, they'll have an extra secondary battery arrangement. They'll be fitted with radar, carrying a decent amount of belt on them. Nothing wrong with that. And so the next 2 slots for capital units will be taken up by the first pair of illustrious class carriers. Once the first set of destroyers are done. And then the remaining slots will go to the Batch 2 town class cruisers. Which will be fantastic, that'll be fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. I am probably not going to modernize Hood. Like I say, I need new hulls. More than I need a modernized Admiral class battlecruiser. I've already brought 4 new modern battlecruisers into the fleet that just, well, basically mean that I don't have to modernize the battlecruiser force. I can use it as second-line units and scouts. Although the new battlecruisers are mainly based in the Pacific to stare at the Japanese. The illustrious class are probably going to go to the North Atlantic Fleet. And I will probably send Courageous and Glorious out to the Far Eastern Fleet and pair them up with Ark Royal. And then what we will do is I will... So Eagle and Hermes, who are fairly slow, those 2 will probably go and join up with the home fleet as its carriers, because they have a similar speed to Furious, who is also there with the home fleet. Furious will go and join up with the Far Eastern Fleet. Like this. There we go. Fantastic. Again, trying to bulk up my strength in the Far East. Armor we're alright for, artillery we're alright for. I'll probably do better anti-tank guns though. Oh, we still have another slot. For naval, oh yeah, better cruiser armor. That is not a bad idea. National focus. Okay, so now we want to appeal to the Imperial loyalists. So we probably want to get into a conflict with the United States first, and then deal with the aftermath of that later. So, we want to turn this from the tank brigade to the tank division. And the way we'll do this is we will add a 4th light tank. We will add a motorized reconnaissance company. At least for now. Obviously, there will be more additions to come later. So, for example, a section of mobile infantry. Probably about 3 mobile infantry, just to give it some sort of ability to hold ground. The motorized division is mostly fine. I do want to give it support artillery because that will massively boost its ability to engage. Infantry division, I'm mostly happy with. They need a recon section. And they also could do with a battery of artillery in the line. But that's fine. Oh, and what artillery are we going to give our boys? 25 pounders, there we go. That's more like it. That's the stuff. And of course, better AA as well. We don't want to leave our lads without it, do we? That would be bad. Okay, so obviously we are going to really dial all in for an attack on Canada. So the North Atlantic Fleet is based out of Gibraltar. And I need to get... So we have that much available. Let me see about actually working up some form of KGV. So this would be not a KGV because the current king is Edward, and we've already had... Oh no, we can still call it the KGV in honor of the, the monarch who came before. I think that's actually acceptable. That's fine. So we've got that. Obviously, better secondary battery. Battleship armor, all or nothing armor scheme, torpedo belt, have been built by Camel Laird, improved catapults, light... They can't penetrate their own... Oh, then again, they are using 14-inch guns, aren't they, so... No, we'll go with 3... We'll go with 3 triple 16s. There we go, that's fine. Then I will have another set of anti-aircraft guns. And another set of anti-aircraft guns. Upgrade... Oh, nope! I did not want 18-inch guns. That is not what I asked for. They can't carry 18s anyway. Can't carry 18s anyway. Stop trying to do that. They can't carry 18s anyway. Stop that. 95 95% reliable. Ooh, this is a bit cursed, but that would mean they can defeat their own armor. Yeah, sod it, it's funny. The King George V's are 30-knot ships in this timeline with 6 18-inch guns in 3 twins. Oh, that's funny, I'm doing it. That is very funny, I'm doing that. There we go. And then what I will do is... So bring the KGVs up, like so. And then get me the 4th one that I will then get rid of the freighter construction force. That's Anson, Duke of York, Prince of Wales, King George V, which is good, and that will obviously go to the North Atlantic Fleet as its first set of capital assets. Of course, it will appeal to Imperial loyalists. Let me see. So the first, obviously, like I say, we're gearing up for war with Canada. How long will that take? 90 days. That's fine. Yeah, so bring the Dominions back into the fold. There we go. So now we've actually got enough. I can do... Oh, I need 25. Don't have enough yet. Yep, so obsolete ship refit. That'll help with upgrading some of our ships later down the line. But for now, everything is as I would prefer it to be. Corrupt cemented armor. That'll just boost the armor of everything we have. So, there we go. New construction continuing at a pace, which is what we like best. So, 25 new destroyers. What's Western Approaches Command currently at? Yeah, 14. That is not enough. Yeah, we need to... Yeah, I was absolutely right to build these new destroyers to bulk up Western Approaches Command. There we go. 39 destroyers. Some of them have actually decently modern type. That is fantastic. Some of them even have bloody ASDIC, so that's even better. North Atlantic Scouting Force could probably do with some heavy assets. Do we have any well, any spare heavy cruisers? If I add the North Fleet to the North Atlantic Scouting Force, that at least gives it HMS London as flag, which means in any engagement they'll have a scouting asset involved. Still only the Revengers left with North Atlantic Fleet on all the QEs and the Med, because the QEs are obviously slightly more modern assets that are better set up for the much faster ships, better set up for Mediterranean work. So the London-class cruisers, they're fine. I can probably take another one from there and put that in the North Atlantic Scouting Force as well. In fact, actually, given that these are battleships, they're not good. They've already got cruisers in the Scouting Force. Actually, no. I'm gonna send the 2 Londons to the Mediterranean Scouting Force. We just realised the only heavy cruiser in it is actually Effingham, which is a Hawkins. And I'm going to instead tell Effingham that she is going to go and lead the Rosyth Escort Force. There's a bit of heavy teeth for that if we need it. And then, of course, Escort Destroyers as well, because I will need to build some of them in case of anyone being dumb enough to try and cut off me from my overseas connections, which, I mean, they would have to be very silly to do this, but you never know, people do silly things. I've got plenty of naval experience. I need a Chief of Air Force more. Cyril Newell, an air reformer, to reform the air into a shape that we like. Right, now I have what I need. So, tank division, motorized infantry, another set of motorized infantry, and then if I just wait a little bit there. So that gives them some ability to stand and fight with... so that they need to return these 2 armoured divisions. There we go. Marvellous. So that should bring us up to, if I'm mistaken, we should also be phasing in this. Yeah, we're also phasing in the Cruiser Mark 1s, which is what we want. I also want to now look at upgrading that tank even further. So obviously we want to go to the Cruiser Mark 2, in which we ditch the machine gun turret to instead have additional machine guns and smoke launchers to make us even more effective. It also brings costs down a bit as well, which is good. Gives us more breakthrough, which is good. Oh, no, they don't. No, it's not the Mark II, Mark 1. Stop that. Stop that game. Stop it. I love this game at times. It can be aggressively silly, but sometimes I love it. There we go. So we need do cold steel, because that increases the effectiveness of our cruiser armor. And we know we'll actually... Oh, no, we don't want homogeneous crop armor. That's not what we want right now. Actually, way ahead of time. We will get better heavy armor, though, because that will massively help the survivability of our future capital ships. So the KGVs are coming along quite nicely. Town's coming along quite nicely. Probably want to look at some large cruisers. Oh, wow, it's nice to see Knight backing up one of my decisions. Why are your cavies taking heavy damage when you want to... Well, because, when you exercise things in Hoi 4, they tend to get a little bit broken. Slightly. Tiny bit. Little bit. Now I need to actually massively invest in things that the Navy should already know. Right, I'm just going to slow things down a tad. I need to very, very quickly take a sabbatical. I will be back in just a tick. Don't die, everybody. And for God's sake, when I get back, I'd like to know, what do you think I should go for? More light cruisers or a batch of super cruisers with 9.2-inch guns? Or possibly 12-inch guns. Haven't decided yet. Let me know, folks! So, let's see what the consensus in the chat was, shall we? I got sun never sets, that's quite useful for the war that is coming. Arcoro's green bar was virtually non-existent. Oh yeah, well she's exercising. That's not her strength, that is her morale and her organization. That's not her strength. That's her organization. She's currently exercising to work with the Far Eastern Fleet. That reminds me to check on the. Where are you guys? Oh, you're in the you're at the Andaman atolls. So Outro's fine. Glorious needs an extra set of carrier fighters. I wonder what was wrong. There we go. That brings them to full strength. I should probably work on actually getting some form of. Oh, that helps that. Let me just. And if I'm going to be fighting the US, I probably want to get some form of basic strategic bomber up and running. So, 4 radials, turbocharger, high aspect wing, large bomb bay, twin. Oh, we don't want twin tail, do we? We want extra fuel tanks, bomb sites. We want a basic set of machine gun turrets. Ay. Weight exceeding thrust, that's not good. And if I go for self-sealing, will that make you happy? That will, okay. That will do. There you go, so the Sterling. And then we'll start building that in limited numbers. Just the slow rate production of them. And now we're just waiting for the uprising to kick off before I will join that. I also want to increase the size of the Armoured Corps to 5 divisions. And then, of course, I want to add the Engineer Company to the... So the Tank Division has its Recon Company. It's the Infantry Division that actually needs its Cavalry Recon Detachment to make it effective, which is fine. Can I get more motorized? I can. That is exceptional. I can get... So actually, how many? So 5 makes 11, plus 11 is 22. That's fine. Okay, so we can have that. That is good. And then I need to actually look at... So let me bring up... So let me get... So let me get the best of the RAF. Over to... well, let's get them to... Let's get them to Leinster. And let me actually just rapid construct an airbase in Newfoundland to house them all. There we go. Cruiser semi-autoloader, that's quite a good idea. It wasn't so much the Brits lying about their size of the guns, they just hid it within paperwork. As soon as the guns were around, like, yeah, it's 15 inch. What do you mean you didn't figure it out? Well, you should have figured it out. Just how did you not figure it out? It wasn't so much lying as being creative with the truth. Basically. Will the Danes accept increased trade? I hope they will. Okay, so that's the Free Canadian Republic going in on Canada, which, unless I'm very much mistaken, has done that, which is absolutely fantastic, which is fine and dandy. That's going to absolutely mess up the Canadians' front lines, which means that the correct thing to do now is take advantage of... where's the ally Canadian Loyalists bit? Or has that not kicked off yet? Oh, the Danes declined to increase trade. Okay, there's the Imperialist Civil War. Ally the Canadian Uprising. And hopefully, if I've done that right, the Canadians won't be joined by the US. If I've done that right. And I think I have, actually. Yeah, I think I've actually done that right. The Canadians are not going to be joined by the US. Yep, the Americans are saying it's not my problem. So that is absolutely fine. So first things first, let me bring in 2 squadrons of Hurricanes to secure the airspace, first and foremost. Again, like, I'm trying to contain it to just being a war between... Like I say, because by doing it this way, I think I've kept the Americans out of it, which is fantastic. It means I can come for them later down the... Never mind! Never mind. Okay, things just got real. Alright, okay, so let's have a look. So, first thing we need to do is Western Approaches Command needs to move to secure trade along Britain's west coast. The home fleet, I want submarines operating in that region. I want the first scouting group there. The Rosyth Escort Force doing escorting out of Rosyth, and the home fleet on strike fleet in the North Atlantic. In terms of the North Atlantic fleet, I want them operating purely in the Newfoundland Sea. I want to make sure that that is completely safe for our ships to operate in. So we've got the first batch of towns, and I want them to stay in reserve for now. Got the second batch on the way now. So we've got the North Atlantic Fleet will have to fight with what it's got for now, but that's fine. Looks like everything is mostly going my way for now. There we go. So now we need to continue to do the research to make sure that we continue to get things that we should know. Okay, so that's fine. Things are going mostly okay. Now I need to bring in ground attack aircraft. There we go. And again, one of the things that I wanted to do was to motorize the supplies of the army, and I have now done that. That has been accomplished. Yep, there we go. So supplies have been accomplished. We are now making sure that our convoys are free to move, which is fine. We are still losing some, but that's fine. We can deal with that. There we go. That's not too bad. Put the extra factories into our Sterling bombers. Okay. I mean, Canada's already in a bad way because they've got the uprising to deal with. And, of course, we've got forces. The US is now spread out all over the place, whereas we are nice and concentrated on a single frontage moving towards the southern bit of Canada. Admittedly, starting in Labrador is a bit of a pig, but we built up the supplies, we built up the infrastructure, and is that the Italians? The Italians have sent volunteer armor to the Canadians. That is alright. That is not what I had on my bingo card for 1938, but alright, Italy, you do you. Yeah, they're trying to... They are just absolutely... Yeah, those submarines are just absolutely annoying the heck out of me. Do we have any naval bombers we can throw at them? We do, but not ones that are long range. That's the problem. When our ships get there, they're alright, but the problem is, I think I need to... Yeah, I think what I need to do is I need to split it into 10 operational units, so... And I probably want to work up some destroyer escorts. There we go. So I obviously need to think about some escorts. but that can come once the new capital ships that we need for the war effort are done. Bear in mind, I don't need to fight a major fleet action with the United States to win this conflict. In fact, I'm probably counting on not fighting one. There we go. And then we need to keep researching things that we're already supposed to know by this point. There we go. The Italians are proving very insistent in their wish for me to do a thing. I'm not going to commit more troops to cross the Atlantic until... Because the US seems to be operating subs primarily in the Iberian coast, which is fine. And we are now starting to sink American submarines, which is also fine. Like I say, the rest of the Empire is not involved, which is exactly how I want it. I'm trying to keep this war fairly straightforward. Can we hit that force? Yes, we absolutely can. It's a bit of a grindy conflict, but it's not too bad. Let me bring the North Atlantic Fleet to its new base in Labrador so that it can be ready to respond in a moment's notice. There we go. Sun never sets. That's pretty good stuff. Then I will do... Royal Ordnance Factories, and that leads me to believe that the Americans will probably be invaded from the south by the Mexicans and some form of Bolivarian alliance. And we are about to secure Quebec, which means that the front is going to be blown wide open, and a war of movement will prevail once again. There we go, computing machine, that's good. More research for me. Unread naval battle. Some more US submarines sunk. Okay, the Germans are going after the Czechs. Did the French get involved in that? Yes, they did. Okay, so a great war of some kind in Europe is underway. There we go. If we can take Montreal, we can take the eastern part of Canada. The US seem to have committed a great deal of forces to the west. And then, of course, again, we want to continue to have access to things that we should have. There we go. Things that should have been quite clear into... Oh, have we had an engagement just now? Why can't we operate there? Why have we suddenly... We have fuel. Why are you telling me you can't operate in the North Atlantic? Are you damaged? What's going on? Why can't you operate? Okay, now you can operate. There we go. Yeah, what's going on with you? Like, honestly, what's going on? Okay, there we go. Montreal has fallen. Now Ottawa will fall. And fall fairly rapidly into our hands. And of course the Canadians in the west just fell, because of course they did. Why wouldn't they? For some reason I don't quite understand, even though this land is all still technically under my control. Sometimes this game can be a little bit confusing. There we go, and then we'll bring... there we go. So send that armoured force across the Atlantic. Is that Catalina's doing a dive bombing run? Yes, it was Catalina's doing a dive bombing run. Okay, so the next thing to do is to punch into the American heartland. Which shouldn't be too difficult. The Americans seem to have been caught somewhat napping. Indeed, I think we've caught them by surprise with their short and curlies down. The tactic of getting the drop on them and having the war between us not formally start till later meant the American General Staff put its attention on the Canadian Imperial Loyalists. So they didn't actually turn and face us, which means that we are actually free to invade the parts of Canada and the US that actually matter, while the US is actually tied up fighting in a part of the world that really, to be blunt, given the war we're fighting, doesn't actually matter. So, congratulations, I guess. It was a heck of a 4D chess move, but it didn't seem to quite pay off there for the Americans and the Canadians, I have to admit. Let me bring in the... Oh, no, not the forces based in Alexandria. Nope, get back to your former airfield, thank you. So, you two will be assigned to that army. You will fly Combat Patrol and CAS. You two will be assigned to that army, fly Combat Patrol and CAS. And there should be... There we go. And then you gentlemen will be assigned... So you two will be assigned... So you'll be assigned to that army. You'll be assigned to that army as well. You'll be split in two. You'll both be assigned to that army. And your job will be to do logistic strikes as well as CAS. Obviously want to do normal operations. There we go. Fantastic. There we go. Our ships have we've transited the Atlantic safely with no losses. Well, of course we did. We have the control of the seas. All is well. There we go. And then we need early automated firefighting, which is very good. How are we doing in terms of... Oh, we have some free dockyards. Okie dokie. So we now need to rapidly speed up the... I'm also going to take some factories from the town class to speed up the construction of the King George V class. And we're going to look at doing something. So let's have a look at the... so let's take the V&W class hull. That's a fairly old hull and fairly cheap. Let's switch that out to keep the... Yep. So if we fit a light diesel engine, that gives us much better capability. They can still carry a single set of tubes. That's fine. I'd rather have them have sonar and radar. AA is fine. Doesn't have to be world beating. Have a single 4.7 forwards. Then in front of that, they can have depth charge launchers at the back. They can have depth charge launchers. Then again, another single 4.7-inch mount. Basic AA. And just more and more depth charges. And you will be the River class corvettes, the River class destroyer escorts. And where is it? There it is. Oh, and of course, smoke generator, because why not? And you'll be built by the Arrow shipbuilders. Good. And what we will do is we will start just cranking you out nice and easy. Jolly good. There we are. Okay. So the front seems to be running into a little bit of resistance now, which is annoying. We really do need our new divisions to catch up, which is fine. As long as we hold Quebec open, everything will be fine. The US is flying more combat missions than we are, but we do have more in the way of kit than they do, it seems. Now I can actually do what I want to do, which is, so support anti-air, and support anti-tank, and then, of course, an actual battery of 25-pounders. And then we need support anti-air. There we go, which is fine. That'll help with that. And then the tank divisions, they need, of course, support artillery, support engineer company, support anti-air, which is fine, because that'll then help them do what they need to do. How are we doing in terms of... we need more trucks, so we will absolutely stop building more trucks, and more anti-air and anti-tank, and then a 5th factory on trucks. And now the front line has stabilized. Let me cut the speed down a bit, and then let's do some work. So, punch through there. There we go. And then you gents can punch through there. Like that, and that'll cut that front off completely from... And then, yeah, the Mexicans have just kicked the door in from the south, so... things are really not going well for the United States, at all. They are really not going that well. There we go. Fantastic. National ideas. Did we finish the... Oh, we didn't even finish that. Okay, so we need to keep doing that then. Oh dear. Oh, that was the U.S. Atlantic Fleet. Admiral King just caught that, and North Atlantic Fleet didn't actually get there in time to render assistance, which is annoying. That means we'll have to bulk up the force in the North Atlantic, but that is fine. Shouldn't be too difficult to do. There we go. Okay, so we've now cut the peninsula up towards Halifax off, so now let me actually march towards Halifax and very, very rapidly deal with this encirclement. Okay, so now we're at war with Mexico as well, so we're gonna lose... Oh, we're gonna lose British Guyana. Damn it. Let me rebase that to the Caribbean. Though I think the Venezuelans will probably be unwilling to join that war. Okay, so the Americas is just a mess. That's fine. Okay, so that is fine. Then we crush that division. So we have actually succeeded in doing fairly well. The mobile divisions of the British Army are just casually sweeping through Canadian territory, which is fine. We're obviously just... we have a 2-to-1 advantage in numbers, which is absolutely fine. Yep, obviously give him... there we go. And then we'll kick off another round of offensive action, which is what we want. Beautiful. The Americans are seemingly committed to holding Halifax, which is an admirable goal, but I would probably advise them against that rather difficult to maintain course of action. No thank you, Turkey. I'm in the middle of a massive war. Please come back when I'm not trying to batter the US's head in with a sledgehammer. How's our destroyer program going? Okay. If you want the honest truth, it's going okay. I'm literally waiting for... So obviously I'm going to... What I'll do is I'll have 2 batches of River class going, and they'll be used to replace 2 of the Town class build queues. And what I will do is I will use the... so obviously, poor old HMS Sussex just narrowly survived the engagement with the American fleet. She managed to limp away to safety. And I'm going to order her to remain in safety. We have managed to secure transatlantic routes. We're doing fairly well there. Do we have a sign? We do. There we go. Fantastic. Yes, helicopters. What a fantastic idea. Oh, yes, super heavy howitzers. What a brilliant idea. Then we can get the BSA company, which will massively increase our ability to produce small arms, which is what we want. Did the US actually just leave the defensive position of... They did. They did, in fact, just leave the defensive position of Halifax. Well, more power to them, I guess. There we go. Just shatter... If we shatter the front lines there, take that forward airfield. How are we trading in terms of aircraft? Not ideal. I could probably do with a Hurricane Mark II, actually, now that I think about it. Hurricane Mark II with fully elliptical wings. Same inline engine, but also carrying self-sealing fuel tanks, and we'll manufacture that by Gloucester. There we go. And this should hopefully redress the balance in the favour of our Hurricanes. We're not losing too many CAS. I'm going to cut the CAS production line in half and put that on the Hurricane line to make sure we maintain the edge we need. So we're outside Boston now. Probably want to halt the offensive for now. And probably want to look into recapitalizing our forces, gathering our strength, because the Americans are actually having to fight on two fronts. And it's not going as well as they'd like. They are having to pivot to deal with Mexico, which is not ideal for them. There we go. Once our troops reorg, throw them into there. That'll break that frontage. Did we manage to take the airfield? I think we did. We did. Yes, we did. So now we have the air advantage. I think just about. How many fighters does each army have? It should have more than. You should have a lot more fighters than just 100. Oh, you do not. Okay, let me actually just double the amount of fighters assigned to each army. There we go. That'll dramatically upscale the amount of the actual victories we attain. There we go. Now we're actually getting up in things. And then throw into that, and that's going to break that American division. Now that will seize Halifax for us, which is what we want. Beautiful. Which is fine. The Americans and the Mexicans are fighting a bloody conflict over the Rio Grande, which is actually honestly fine, because then we can punch through with two sets of divisions there. Punch through there. We can't seize Boston, but we can. How many? Okay, we have more free dockyards. Fantastic. Okay, so we have the KGVs coming. That's fine. I will actually build a better IJK class, and what I'm going to do with that is I am going to bulk out that, and this build out of the IJK is absolutely going to the North Atlantic Scouting Force because it needs reinforcement. So we're going to build 10 of those, and they're going to have 5 dockyards assigned. Because I need these emergency IJK war builds to bulk out the North Atlantic force, which took an absolute pounding. Let me see if I can bring in some of the new build. Because we've got these 6 new light cruisers, so 4 of them will go to bulk out North Atlantic Scouting Force. The other 2 will go into the North Atlantic Fleet proper, which is fine. How are we doing in terms of? Oh, we are losing. How did US subs get to the Bay of Biscay? doesn't particularly matter. Probably cover the Bay of Biscay as well if they want to operate. If they want to be mad enough to operate there, or more power to them. But I actually have the ability to operate there, so good luck. Okay, so Mexico just expanded that conflict in a way that is a little bit silly, but hey ho. Okay, yeah, was gonna hold. So pin them. March on to New York. Also see if we can seize Providence as well. Pin that division. Yep, funnel in more troops through that breakthrough. That is just a clear, absolute breakthrough. Let's get it done. Okay, Halifax is back in British hands. That's what we want. There we go. Okay, so let's keep that force. Let's keep ploughing through. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's fine. Let's get better infantry equipment as well. Think about equipping our men with automatic weapons, which is good. Automatic weapons are good. We like automatic weapons. Okay, let's throw more weight into the attack on New York. If we can seize Providence, we can... Nice try, lads, but I don't think so. It was a good attempt, but all you've really done is doom Boston to encirclement by doing that. And be able to funnel troops in through those areas. Seize control of Boston, and through that dominate and basically close off and kill a bunch of US divisions without so much as a... And also massively improve the supply situation of the British Army. Rendering our mobile divisions mobile again. There we go, and just like that we have encircled 2 divisions. Boston is now also encircled. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. What do you know? There we go. Wahey, boom, bow, pap. Again, so I need more trucks. Trucks is what we need. Can't fight a war without trucks. Ooh. Better anti-aircraft guns. I say that's a jolly pip-pip-toodle-pip idea. Oh god, I've gone properly British. Oh, I love this game. I don't play as Britain enough. No! No, our close combat aces, Wellesley was shot down. No! No! Brandy, no! F in chat for Brandy. Do we have Spitfires yet? No. We do not have Spitfires yet. We will do shortly. Okay, so Boston now needs to rapidly fall under British control, and then I need to think about operations towards the west. I also need to think about building a new port in the northwest to support those combat operations, which is fine. If I can cut through that US division, I can pin that Canadian division against the lake and cut it off and kill it. But of course the main drive here is the westbound push towards, well, towards Washington DC. And that's what I'm going to do. The forces on the western part of the front are going to remain in place. I'm actually going to bulk them up with 3 new divisions of infantry. Okay, we have more kits, so throw me more stuff on the IJ&K class destroyer build out, which is what we want. What have we got? Special air service we've got. Do reassess continental commitments, which will massively help us, or it will remove war to end all wars. There we go. The Greeks are fighting the Turks. That's unfortunate for the Greeks and the Turks. Get the 6-pounder in, which is very good. And let me think about the Cruiser Mark III. So we're going to switch from our horsemen to Christie, so we can ease back on the engine power. Oh no, actually, we're actually just going to get higher speed from that, which is fantastic. And get better radios from it as well, which is even better. So now we're on the Cruiser Tank Mark III, which is even better. How we do? Oh, we are just shattering the American lines. Yeah, that's done it. I got an encirclement there. That's what we want. Can I get the same and attempt to seize Toronto? If I can, I'll be very, very happy indeed. Can we just do a light pinning operation? Thank you. There we go. Pin those forces in place. I don't know if we're going to be able to take New York in this stage of the offensive operations. It is August of 39, but the offensive into America is going fairly well. Not perfect, mark you, but it could be going decidedly worse. Let's see if we can take Newark, cut that entire salient off. Okay, so we did manage to break through to Toronto, but we also didn't manage to... we only managed to get some of our own boys in circle, but that's fine. That can actually be achieved by almost doing it again, but with more power. Okay, we have... oh, no, you don't. Okay, there we go. We have actually achieved the encirclement I wanted to achieve around New York. That is absolutely fantastic. We are punching now down towards Philadelphia with our tanks, which is fantastic, just brilliant. Let me see about actually... now we got to get constitutional reforms, try and bring more of the Empire under our thumb, be better at doing this thing rather than trying to shoot people. There we go. Fantastic. How are we doing in terms of losses? Let's have a look. 130,000. The US losses are much higher than ours, and the Canadian losses much higher than that. There we go. And that's the encirclement I wanted, and also Toronto has been seized. Let's actually see about punching even further into Canada proper, seizing Buffalo and adding that to the front as well. And honestly, at this point, I'm going to Washington, D.C. There is nothing to stop me. New York is cut off. It's a salient. It will be annihilated by our forces now. And we're just marching into Washington, D.C. Honestly, we just broke the front wide open. We just shattered the front wide open. What was the US front line is in shambles. The Italian Expeditionary Force is trapped in New York. Buffalo has fallen to British troops. More American troops are encircled east of Toronto. Again. Ontario is now encircled. British troops control that as well. Sending our boys to Detroit. Washington, D.C. fallen into British hands. The Americans, they are on the verge of surrender, but the East Coast, their industrial heartland, is rapidly falling to British domination. There we go. Get me 4 more divisions to bulk up the... Are we winning the tonnage race? Let me have a look. How are we doing in terms of sub kills? Oh, that is not a good statistic. The US has lost 18 subs and they're sinking 30 convoys. That's not a good trade. 2 convoys for a sub. That is not a good trade. That is really not a good trade. Okay, the the Danubian Federation is at war with the communists, so damn. Okay, I was not expecting incredibly based Habsburgs, but you know what? Sod it. They probably would have tried to save the Czechs if they could have done. And let me make sure they don't get a chance to organise. And let's actually close that pocket off if we can. Yeah, I need more. Well, there's Richmond, Virginia. There we go, so we've cut that whole bit off, which is good. That has massively helped us there. And then we'll cut that entire thing off, deal more damage to US divisions. There we go. Of course, this is just entirely unrealistic at this point. Like, it's very unlikely that a war would have gotten to this point. The US would have probably gone, okay, all right, we'll let you reintegrate Canada by this point. Can we go and bloody deal with the Mexicans? And the British would have probably gone, yes, you absolutely can go and deal with the There we go. Fantastic. And there we go. That is beautiful. Can I do the Imperial Federation if I have... Do any of those puppets? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Okay, so I need to... Yeah, I can annex all the countries and do it that way. Since, you know, I'll be doing I'll have formed the Anglosphere beforehand, so I don't need... Because, well... I mean, I had hoped that the Americans would be, you know, a final boss for the whole thing, but... I'm fighting them early. You know, it takes all the fun out of it. It's like kicking a puppy, like, before it becomes, like, a dog. It feels dirty. Like, it just feels wrong. There we go. Seize Columbus and Indianapolis. Yep, well, this is going aggressively. I mean, holy smokes. I'd say we're aggressively pushing them, but that is honestly the understatement of the century. We're not aggressively pushing them, we're just driving them into the ocean. I need to stabilize the front. We need to stabilize the front, finish the encirclements, get more manpower and materiel to our frontline divisions. Because otherwise we're going to start losing ground to the Americans. The east coast of the US might have been seized, but we need to consolidate our gains. Focus on fast production. Alright, there we go. No, I'm not doing an alliance with Germany. They'll get a treaty of non-interference, and that's all they'll get, because I am going to come back for them with a vengeance. Because, yeah, No, we don't do ethnic cleansing in the modern day Germany. No, stop. I'm going to slap you. There we go. And wrap this little encirclement up around Pittsburgh. There we go. Everything is going incredibly well. Actually, sees that instead. That's the railway line. There we go. Oh, they're trying to get the troops out. Ah, okay. They managed to do that. Can we swing that in as part of the front? Hopefully we can. There we go. Hit those two divisions. And just keep that force constantly attacked and attrited. There we go. We've also seized... Oh. Okay, we're seizing various parts of the Canadian transcontinental railways. Canadian Pacific and Canadian National. There we go. There we are. Fantastic. Everything is going reasonably alright. Not perfect, but definitely better than it could be. Yeah, well, so we can now research the frames that will give us the ability to construct things like the Spitfire. There we go. So how are we doing? So we've got the encirclements underway. Let me just finish that one off. And then we can kill that. There we go. We need more tanks. We are running out of tanks. We need more trucks because we're running out of trucks. We need more of everything. Everything, because we don't have it. Can I actually just pull off an encirclement in the Canadian transcontinental? If I can, I will be very, very impressed. I will be exceptionally impressed. Okay, so we've allowed ourselves a little bit of time to reorg, a little bit of time to get more equipment across the Atlantic. Obviously, I'm going to declare the US East Coast a no-go, so anything that we want has to come down through Canada across the railway network, so it'll be nice and safe from US submarines, because they are still active. Okay, so nationalist Spain is now in the war for some reason. Germany is fighting the French, and the Maginot Line hasn't moved, which is just okay. There we go. So that's... Oh, good. Our new anti-aircraft guns are here. It actually looked like they can do the job. Ah! Oh, more naval dockyards. I'm so busy fighting the war, I completely missed that. That means we can have more of our IJNKs. And I actually think, if I look, we have the bare minimum strength to actually order them on the low risk of engagement to go back out into the Newfoundland Sea. And look at the potential engagements that could be had. Oh, I think we actually did pull off that encirclement, which is absolutely fantastic. Which means that I think we are now clear to proceed west at speed. Let me just look at seeing if I can mop up some more of this stuff in the east. Let's just see if I can just very quickly rush down to Florida. Just send 2 mobile divisions down the east coast. Mop up Florida now. Just so that's done, I don't have to deal with it. Because Florida can be. Oh my god, look at him go! Like driving NASCARs down the coast! Oh, okay, so, yeah, we will actually take improved infantry equipment, just for even more bang for our buck. And I'll also get better medium airframes yet. Oh no, I probably want better engines, because obviously if we want to build Spitfires, we need proper Rolls-Royce Merlins, don't we? Oh, I've been so busy playing, I forgot. If you take the USA, get their fleet. I could take the US Navy, but integrating that into the Royal Navy is going to be difficult at best. Although I could use it for second line roles. It's possible, yeah. Using the ex-US fleet for second line roles is something that I could do. It would be something viable I could do. So we've actually managed to get tank production up to a certain level. How are we doing for kit? Armor skirts. That would probably be something we could do with. Okay, so the US has tried to move troops into Florida to stop us, but they just can't because, well, we've just thrown a massive amount of troops at them. Okay, there we go. So punch through there. And then once we've seized that... Oh, that's... Oh, there's an encirclement there just waiting to happen. Yeah, there we go. There's an encirclement there just waiting to happen. And then we go, come round from the south. Okay, so the Italians have decided that they're going to fight the Germans. So, sure. Argentina joined the Commonwealth of Nations, so I guess I'm fighting Argentina as well. Sure, why not? So we're nearly catching up there. 10 factories on fighter planes. The Hurricane Mark IIs are doing well. Let me increase the number of factories on our rifles, and then upgrade to our Sten guns, which is, well, we'll still have, obviously, greater safety precautions for our helicopters. Scientific name, of course, you know, helicopters. Ah, finally, underway replenishment. Good. Anything we can do? Anything we can do with our air facilities? Not yet. Can I get a new naval lady? Yes, I can. For the Maryland facility. Very good. Oh, that means I can... Oh, cool. I can get battle carriers. I can convert some of the incredibly cursed US ships into battle carriers. What an incredibly cursed idea. I love it. Okay. So Florida has now been curtailed, so we now have our new objective, the city of San Francisco. I'm just ordering a full-scale offensive. There are so many gaps in the Americans' lines that we just keep pushing forwards until we win. Like, the entirety of the East Coast has fallen in a matter of a year. They just can't stop us. They would need proper armor to do it, and they just don't have it. I mean, we field... What is it we currently field? We field 1,500 light tanks of various marks. Mostly the machine gun light tank Mark 6s, but we now have phased in cruiser tanks Mark 1, 2s, and 3s. Mark 2s are currently still the largest version, but Mark 3s are steadily phasing in. I had plans to bring in heavy tanks, but that's not quite working out as I had hoped to be our infantry tanks, but that's not working out. That'll have to wait until the war, until after this conflict is concluded. That is fine, nothing wrong with that. There we go. That increases the effectiveness of our aircraft. How are we doing in terms of aircraft? Reasonably okay. Let me see, how are our Hurricanes doing? Okay, so that's fine. Let me just... Oh! Yeah, no wonder. You should be assigned to... Yeah, no wonder. I wondered what you blokes were doing, or rather not doing. Okay, so that goes that encirclement. Politely, gentlemen, I think we've just won World War II. Just casually walked away with the victory. Yeah. It's honestly kind of impressive how... I expected the US to sort of rally and it be a bit of a slog across the continent. But no, they've just caved inwards. we go. Yeah, this is not going... It's not going badly, but it's not going well. Okay, so where are we at? So still got the KGVs to build. Still building the IJK class. So that'll be February of next year. So I need to think about what's going to replace the IJKs. The naval treaties are gone! Right. So... Oh no, I need more naval experience. I need to wait to get more naval experience. That's fine. What's not actually being used? Oh, the Far Eastern Fleet can be exercised to bring that up to full strength. We are a little bit short on some things, but that's okay. Probably aluminium, aircraft grade aluminium. Ah, yeah, we're short on aluminium. We can get some from the French, and that'll be fairly safe. Will not actually be out anything from that. So there we go. We need more trucks. So the Americans have the second best motorized army in the Americans, and the British just have the first. Like, we are the motorized army, and the Americans are not. Oh, dearie me. There we go. So everything is going according to plan. Throw more equipment at our ability to upgrade our firearms, and we will just now steamroll across the continental United States. And they just got... Okay, Imperialist Canada has uncapitulated itself, which is very, very nice. And let me just bring that all in there, like that, which is what it should be. Oh, is that all now one front line again? Oh, that's going to complicate things a little bit. I need more men, but I don't have them. That's not ideal. That's really not... And how did you get up there? There we go. Well, at least the US Army is also in as bad a shape as mine. They're down to at the maximum 48 divisions. Their army's just shattered. The Canadians are gone completely. And probably most of their army is fighting the Mexicans to try and hold them back. You know what, lads? Just drive to San Francisco. Let's just end this. Just end this. Just drive to San Francisco and Los Angeles. There's going to be nothing in your way. The Americans have no troops left to stop you. They've just broken themselves. Once we broke out past Washington, it seems that was just it. Game over. Are you going to do an Imperial German game in vanilla in future, or an Irredentist German Democratic game? Yeah, I can do a Germany game. Yeah, I will. I can happily do a Germany game. No problems at all. I'd be more than happy to do a Germany game. There we go. And of course, advancing down various different railway lines. As you do. Encircling yet more US divisions. Continuing to again and again annihilate them. Brazil is now fighting desperately to hold on. They will do, though. I'm sure Brazil will be fine. 99% sure Brazil will be fine. 99.99% sure Brazil will be fine. I'll just send you there to deal with that, please. Thank you. So that's that. That's that. That's fine. That's also fine. There we go. And then let me just do that quickly. And more cannons, please. And I probably need to design the new Oh no, we don't have it yet. We are waiting on 37 days for the new Spitfires. Yeah, the US is trying to fight everywhere while committing to nowhere. Basically. Go. Well, that's helping that. There we go. Do that, do that. We've cleaned up that little pocket of resistance there, which is fine. Send you gentlemen back to the front, if you don't mind. It's a little bit messy over here in the central US, but we are in fact steadily making gains, which is what we want to do. Fighting Hondurans in the middle of the US, probably a bit weird, probably wondering how they got here and what they did to deserve this torture, but, well, that's the way it's going. Yeah, of course, Germany, you've decided to declare war on the US now that they're right on the ropes and about to die. Of course, you've done that. Like, you know, the British Empire does all the work. Fascist Germany comes in, throws the final punch, declares victory, walks away. Yeah, sure. Sure. There we go. Ah, good. Improved crew-served weapons. That is what we like. We need improved crew-served weapons. Always can't do without improved crew-served weapons. There we go. Get everybody back to what they should be doing. There we go. Oh, don't leave those lads alone. Make sure we finish them off. There we go. Come on, boys. Keep pushing them. The US is so close to breaking now. So do that, down to there, just leapfrog from supply dump to supply dump, through Las Vegas, through there, to Los Angeles, then take San Diego, and that part of, there we go, fantastic. Germany inviting me to my faction, their faction. Ha! No, we don't work with mad genocidal, with mad genocidal drug addicts, thank you very much. So, thank you, Germany, but no thank you. So, down that railway line there. So, down that railway line there, through Las Vegas, down through there to Los Angeles, then down to San Diego. Boom. There we go. And then the other one's advancing along the overland route, paralleling the UP's overland route. Then we'll go through the Rockies and heading up towards Seattle. Oh, no, this isn't the UP's overland route. This is it's got to be the Pacific extension of the Milwaukee Road, I think. I'm fairly certain. So 18 minutes to brew ships. Yeah, well, brew ships isn't everything in the world. I'll wrap up when I feel like I'm done. I will definitely be on brew ships, but I am still trying to make sure I get this war done first. If that means I'm 5 minutes late, then I'm 5 minutes late, and that's just the way it is. So things are going well. Very, very good indeed. And let me actually... Yeah, I'm sorry, Canada, but... no, I really don't need you being a puppet above your station, thank you. Get back as an integrated puppet where you belong. Okay, so we have... Okay, we actually have now the... ooh, hello. Atlantico-class cruisers. Ooh, aren't you very pretty? Oh, my. We probably want to build more freighters, though. So we've got the... we managed to get the... Oh, there it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. That is just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's fantastic. So, United British Isles. Then we are nicking off with all the rest of the US. As much of the US as we can take on our first turn. Just directly bring that into the Empire. There we go. See, this is punishment. You shouldn't have tried to interfere. And you interfered, so that is on you. Don't know why you tried to do that, but you did. So I don't know why you would. There we go. And then everything else we will also take from the US. No. The Panama Canal is British and will remain British. Because that is vital. And you cannot... I don't care, Mexico. You never touched California. Your troops bled and you did nothing. Please stop wasting my score. I have things to take. Thank you. Like the US Navy. Oh, the Mexicans have taken all of the Philippines. Alright, sure. I got the Navy, though, which is what matters. Can I get... Nope, the Mexicans invested a ton trying to get those states. So you know what, they can have them. That's fine. I mean, it's not like the Mexicans have a fleet to actually keep hold of them anyway. Okay. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, now it's time to crush the Mexicans under my boots. For daring to defy me. Question is, can I do that before we get to, Whoa, hello. There we go. Can I crush the US under my boots before I get to... Before Bruce ships? Answer, yes. Yes, the answer is probably yes. I can probably absolutely crush the Mexicans. If the US Army couldn't stop His Majesty's trucks and tanks, what snowball's chance in hell does the Mexican Army have? Answer, not a snowball's chance in hell. And there we go, the Spitfire Mark I to replace the Hurricanes. And while I'm doing this, I may as well also... There we go, the Typhoon. Got an inline, or emergency power, supercharger, reflex gun sight, dive brakes, self-sealing fuel tanks, small pressurized cabin, beautiful. That can replace the Welsleys, and the Royal Air Force is now bang up to date. Oh, the Mexicans are trying to stop me. That's adorable. Oh, that's just priceless. You think you can stop me? Oh, that's so cute. Please, stop trying to stop me. This is only going to end one way. Ah, get the Sterling. Actually, proper assault rifles. Absolutely beautiful. And 6-axle trucks. Heck yes. What a marvelous concept. And we can get auxiliary forces and peaceful coexistence. After all, we're all originally English speaking. I'm not here as an overlord or an imperial master. I'm just here because your government happens to get involved in a war they shouldn't have. Also, I've brought free healthcare and a social system that actually helps if you're out of work. Yeah, did I mention the free healthcare? Like, I'm fairly certain I mentioned the free healthcare. I build another 20 of them, and that can fully replace the. So the M3s are fine, but I can definitely make them better. But I just need the naval XP to do it, and I need the time, which I don't have right now. Come on, hurry up, lads! We've got to crush the Mexicans. Because you like. There you go, lads. Come on. And also, we now need to up the pace of re-equipment of the Typhoons. Drop the number on the Sterling bomber and increase the number of factories on the Typhoon, so we can rapidly phase out the older Hurricanes and Welsleys and replace them with Typhoons and Spitfires. Oh, that's the entire Mexican army just encircled because we just shattered their lines so completely and utterly it wasn't even funny. Yeah, this honestly, the game's kind of over, but I may as well go for world conquest, seeing as, you know, I'm here. And we do have a tech tree that stretches all the way out to the 60s, so we have the tech to do it, you know. But Imperial Federation first, then we can deal with everything else. So we'll form the... I'll try and form the Anglosphere first, so I'll integrate all of my puppets, annex them, form the Anglosphere, so we get cores on the US, and then I'll form the Imperial Federation. Wow. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, eh, Mexico? I think that's exactly what we say in this situation. You played stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Oh, Venezuela gets to live with one province. Never mind. Never mind. And the Philippines gets to go free, but that's okay. Not a problem. And there we go. Victory achieved. 2 years of war, and we just won. We walked away with a victory so complete and total that it's almost shattering. Oh my god. We just absolutely shattered them. That's incredible. And on that incredibly... I thought we'd have, like, minor wars this episode. Build up the Royal Navy. Maybe get entangled in some shenanigans in South America. I didn't expect us to start and finish 2 wars. That is not... that was not... part of the plan. But, well, here we are. The British Empire has... Well, it's currently the British Empire, but we plan to reform into a federation of equals. And then, of course, unite the world under the World Federation. But, yeah. Look at that. We actually just casually just wiped the US off. We basically got the entire US fleet. I mean, the entire US fleet. So we got all the standards. All the standards we got. We got all of the modern US cruisers. We got all the modern US carriers. Yeah. I think we're just... Yeah. It's just a matter of how long is it going to take us to conquer the rest of the world now. That's all there is to it at this point. And on that, it is time to end. Thank you so much for watching.